What is up, everybody? This is Lyle, No Hippie Trucking and Transportation. I'm coming at you from the Flying J in Fort Pierce, Florida. Taking a little bit of time off right now. Not going to be available till tomorrow. I just felt like I needed a bit of a mental break. I've been a little bit drained, and to be honest with you, I have just had a bad attitude lately. I'm self-aware enough to say that, but I couldn't really put my finger on why I've been that way. But earlier today, I was eating my muffin and drinking my coffee and replaying the events of the last year and a half in my mind, and I had what alcoholics refer to as a moment of clarity. Any of you old school people know what line that movie's from, put it in the description below. But in all seriousness, I really want to take a moment out to apologize. You know, I'm not going to say that people look up to me or anything like that, but, you know, every now and again, I got people calling me uncle, you know, old school, you know, stuff like that. And talking to some people, I do feel that my perspective more than trucking itself has helped a lot of people, at least so I've been told. And I kind of feel like I've kind of strayed away from that. So I apologize for that. You know, a lot of times we lose sight, or let me just speak for myself. You know, you lose sight of what's kind of most important, or where you really want to be, or what you want to portray. And I've kind of got off that. You know, Prime has gone through a lot of changes, and a lot of times you won't hear that from the company itself, but you will hear that from drivers that are out there. And change is just something that's hard to take sometimes. You know, I'm 56 years old, and a lot of people in my age bracket, we're just not good with change. And a lot of times that could be even change for the better. A lot of times when there's a lot of moving parts and stuff like that, it just throws off your equilibrium a little bit mentally. And I kind of think that's what's in the position I'm at now. You know, Prime has done a lot for me, and I've accomplished a lot at Prime. So I don't want to lose sight of that. You know, I got into trucking in 2019. And since 2019, I've accomplished, me and a lot of other people at Prime. Some people even to a bigger degree. But since 2019, I've paid off 2 trucks. Never been concerned about money. I have, you know, everybody says their fleet manager is the best. And, you know, I think there's a lot of great fleet managers at Prime. And I'm going to throw my fleet manager in there as being one of the great fleet managers at Prime. As a matter of fact, one of the reasons that I wouldn't even consider leaving right now. You know, my payroll advisor, I'm gonna throw her in there as well. You know, I'm thinking about this because yesterday I was looking for an express code because I've been sitting at this dock for like 7 hours, 6 hours, something like that, and I'm just trying to get out of there. So I send a message, say what the lumper fee is, waiting for the express code. And it's just, I don't know, if it didn't necessarily take longer than normal, but, you know, like I said, I've been in this funk a little bit. And I'm just trying to get out. So I call up my payroll lady really just to see, hey, is my fleet manager sitting across from you? He's like, yeah, he's here. And I'm like telling her, man, this is what's going on, you know, whatever. So I guess she sends him the message saying I needed it, whatever. But what separates my payroll person and a lot of people, you know, it's not just I don't know if it's just my payroll person, but the fact that I felt like I was able to lean on her and just kind of unload a little bit. And I don't mean I was bitching to her or anything like that. I was just able to unload, that I'm in a, you know, I'm normally not like this. Not that she saw that. But I'm normally not like the person to get in this kind of a funk like this, and just was able to kind of talk to her about kind of what's, how I've been feeling, what's going on, things like that. And that's invaluable. You know what I mean? So shout out to her, shout out to my fleet manager. I also had a I also had a logs advisor that every now and then we were able to have those conversations as well. She's since retired, so I don't know if I'll, what the relationship's going to be with my new logs advisor, but definitely one of those changes that I was talking about. And I'm not going to go over every single change. I mean, we got the obvious changes, cameras, tablet, whatever. It could be anything. It's just the fact that there have been so many changes lately that it's just been kind of hard to deal with. And thinking about this stuff, what these changes have done is it's taken my mind off of just driving. I've never been one to really like driving and all that kind of stuff. It is just a job, but I was never really one that was going to be 100% motivated about money. So that was never going to be the push. So I've always needed to have a little bit more to kind of motivate me. And what that motivation had been for a long time was that family atmosphere at Prime. And a lot of people don't necessarily need that, I don't think. I don't think that the average truck driver really cares about that as much as I do, just because I just didn't have the same motivations. You know what I mean? And that's one of those things. That's one of those changes that I've been talking about. The changes that have kind of been happening over the last year and a half. And it could be just the little things, like little insignificant changes, locks on trailers. Not that was a big thing, or it could be scanning in documents. It could be whatever it is. But all those little changes, if you really look back to the past year and a half, there have been a lot of changes. So I think that's what's been kind of hard for me, is that a lot of these changes have, not that there was any joy, but it might have taken whatever little joy I had and kind of made me focus on other things. So I'm going to apologize right now for, to be honest with you, being a bad example lately. I don't consider myself a YouTuber. I feel like I'm in a different space. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have a lot of people that do YouTube videos like, let's bring Junior Honduras back. That actually taught something. Or you have people like Slime Pack or Romaine the Trucker. I mean, we can go back, Peruvian Trucker. Just any number of people at Prime that show like the day in the life of a truck driver and might talk about a few things here and there. But what I always felt like was I was like more, not the voice of reason. That's not necessarily. All right, let me just stop this for a second. Somebody has 2 dogs out here, a Yorkie, which is like kind of what my dogs were, and just running around the truck stop. There's absolutely no way that I would ever do that. All right, so anyway, I always looked at myself as not a mentor in a way, but almost I wanted people to look at me like, if that guy can do it, anybody should be able to do it. Or maybe I just need to kind of tweak my mind frame a little bit and focus on these other things, like emotional maturity, because I couldn't do this at 24 years old. There's just no way. I just know I couldn't do it. So a lot of times if I am speaking to people, I'm trying to give them advice that I wish I could give myself at 24 years old, or 30 years old even, or maybe even 40 years old. You know, financial stability, you know, all these different kind of things. So I never really looked at myself. Like, I was never going to be no popular YouTube channel or anything like that. And I never even tried to be. Like, I'm not going to edit this video, and I'll probably never ever edit a video, because I thought that what I was given was a little bit more important than that. I don't care how much money I make on a load, how much money I made. That's really not going to be anything that I glorify, because I think that anybody can do it. Now, certain ways I've thought that allows me to do that, I've tried to pass those things on. But that's been the main reason I've been here. And I just feel like, first of all, I haven't been doing any regular videos lately. It's all pretty much been lives and stuff like that. And those are great as far as connecting with the people that stop by my channel, and I love that more than anything. But what I don't love out of that is a lot of times some of the things that I may say in that might not necessarily put me in a light that I want to. Like, I don't mind it. How can I say this? I feel what I feel, and I don't mind anybody feeling that. But what I don't want is for somebody to feel like I have these certain criticisms about what things have been going on or how things have been changing, and then think that Prime's a bad company. Because that's certainly not the case. You know, I've had a chance to look back at this, and I mean, there's a ton of people at Prime. You know, whether you just do regular lease purchase, like you have people comparing Prime lease purchases or leases to other people. I mean, I have not seen any other company with the lease. And I'm not saying Prime's the best at everything. I do think they have the best lease purchase. But let's just say, as far as regular leases, I've never heard anybody at any of these other companies talking about getting $15,000, $20,000 leasing completion bonuses. Sure, the payments might be a little bit higher, but you know, that's the motivation to stick around. You know, there's a ton of people on YouTube, truckers, that want to give advice about different things and have never had a title to a truck. And one thing I could say about a ton of people at Prime, for all their misgivings or whatever, is there's a ton of drivers out there that have titles to trucks or titles to multiple trucks. So if anybody's seen these videos and felt like I didn't, like, I'm not fortunate to be in my situation, you know, then, you know, I apologize for that, because that's certainly not the case. Now, could I say that I've been happier? Yeah, I've been happier. And maybe if things settle down a little bit more, you know, I can return to that. Once everything starts being automatic, once I have to stop thinking about thinking through everything, you know, and there's been a lot of changes in my own life too, and that's the same thing. Like I said, change, even if it's good change, can kind of throw you off a little bit. You know, my daughter, you know, had her grandson a while back, and that's changed up my, you know, the way I think of things mentally on that side. You know, so you know, I believe that people create their own happiness and things like that, and you know, I just need to kind of wrap my mind around all the all the reasons that I'm here and all the reasons I'm thankful to be here, rather than all the things that are going on that have kind of put me in this funk. Because I'm a feeling type, I mean, look at this. The guy's walking around without his dog on a leash, and a truck's coming around the corner, and anyway. So like I said, I'm not like overly emotional or anything like that, but I think a lot deeper about things than I think average people do. Well, not average people. I think a lot of people my age think a little bit deeper about things. And one of the things I say I'm fortunate about is I'm fortunate enough to have a fleet manager, and I don't know if he's the old soul or whatever it is, or he's just laid back, but I have people sending me messages that their fleet manager sends out, and I'm like, man, I could never imagine that getting sent out by my fleet manager. Now, I'm not saying that some of this stuff wouldn't be a phone call, or it wouldn't be a message to a particular driver or something like that, but never a fleet message, in regards to maybe 10% of the drivers on the fleet where you send out. I just think I've been protected a little bit there, because that would be something that I think would be hard for me to take on a constant basis. But so all I'm gonna be doing here is just trying to kind of relax a little bit, wrap my mind around things. Again, it's man, I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. There's a time you just get out, drive, don't have to think about anything. Well, now, I mean, obviously it's winter time. Normally that's all that you'd have to worry about is the winter, but now, there's just other stuff that's clouding my mind. And like I said, I'm famous for saying you don't have to like a job, and I'm not saying I dislike the job. I just need to do the job, and I just need to find the motivation. Like I said, the motivation doesn't come from the money. The motivation doesn't come because, I got this, $7,000 load, or this $4 a mile load. That's not going to be what pushes me. Typically. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I just want to come in here and kind of apologize for that. Nobody said anything to me about it. The last time anybody said anything about this was over a year ago. It was, I don't think she's watching videos anymore. She's had a lot of stuff to deal with, but there was a driver that used to watch my videos, Michelle, and she, right before she got diagnosed with cancer, she'd commented about it wasn't my attitude, I forgot how she put it, but let's just use that word, that my attitude had changed, and I should bring that around. That was a while back. So I just wanted to take accountability for that right now, and get back to doing what I do. Now, nothing's really changed. I haven't, outside of YouTube or maybe people I've spoke to on the phone, this would be really undetectable until just like maybe yesterday from a fleet management or whatever level, when I'm saying I need a break after being home for almost, 30 days. But outside of that, nobody would even know kind of that I'm in this little bit of a funk. But that's what's up with me. I do appreciate you guys stopping by No Hippie Trucking and Transportation. As always, comment, subscribe. I'm out.